everybody! You know how it goes. You make a few sarcastic posts on Twitter. Someone says, you should have your own show. And before you know it, you're sitting here hosting one. So hello, and welcome to Charlotte's Web, where nothing is off limits. Politics, culture, comedy, conspiracies, and the occasional hot banana. Speaking of which, my first guest is exactly that. Hot and bananas in equal measure. My brilliant friend and brand new author, Abi Roberts. Welcome.
Well, hello. I love the fact we've got a lovely yellow halo around us, as if we're very angelic and we've never done anything bad. Naughty. Thanks, Charlotte. Thanks for having me on. How brilliant. Your show, Charlotte's Web.
I'm giving it a go. We'll see how we get on.
Genius name. I'm just doing this. Oh, that's it. Yeah, I'm slightly out of it. Oh yeah, I'm in now. I'm in. Look, my hair's so big, it's like squeezing out of the bloody. Yes.
Yeah, join the club. I've had to time up most of mine back, so don't get too hot.
I haven't washed mine for about a week and a half.
Well, I was going to say actually.
It's dreads. Look at it.
I can put a filter on it afterwards, don't you worry.
Put a filter on my hair. A hot banana filter.
That's the one. So, Abi, hello, welcome. To my first show. I couldn't think of anyone better for my first guest, especially since it coincides with the launch of your new book.
Indeed. And the title of the book is Hot Banana. I don't know if that's the right way around.
No, for me it's fine anyway.
For you it's fine. It might be. So Hot Banana and just take a cover design by Martin Baker.
What we're looking at here then.
As you can see, banana and cream, and a little bit naughty, American flag, Russian flag, and holiday flag. And then that's the back, so people can see.
Oh, so they're titles of songs, am I right?
Titled of. No, the chapters, I've called them tracks. So it's meant to be like a CD, the back of a CD thing. So that's all the titles of the tracks. And obviously my cross at the bottom. I won't ruin the surprise of what that's about.
Mm-hmm.
The cross coming off. So it's basically, I've called it it sounds a bit complicated, but it was deliberately like a new genre called a compilation memoir in essays. So basically, it's essays that I started building on Substack in around about January, February time, where I started writing about my life, but then I thought, I don't want to do an autobiography, really boring, like, and then next year, and then this year, and then the year after, I thought, no. So actually, it started to evolve into something without me even really, and then I just thought, oh, actually, this is good, because it can be 12 sections of my life.
Yeah.
Random. I mean, some of them are a bit like, oh, I've chosen that, but they all fell into place. So it wasn't like I was forcing myself to go, right, you have to write about this.
Mm-hmm. I would like to just rewind a little bit for some people who may not know who you are. Might be some people overseas, etc. I've known you for a few years now, and even in the short few years, which have been fun packed, I've seen an evolution of you. And but your whole life has been you've had different hats on over the years, haven't you? So I'd say you've been a singer, you've been a musician, a comedian, commentator, a professional troublemaker. Yes. If you were to fill a form in today, would you be writing author?
Yes, definitely. And my mum was a writer. My dad was a writer as well. But my mom, particularly professional writer, and to be honest with you, I think it's always been there. But with any endeavour, I'm a lazy sod, and I think I was a bit like, oh no, oh God, I'm writing a book. Well, that's never going to happen. And actually, I was determined to make it. I thought, it has to happen because I've said I'm doing it now. So it felt like
the next natural step, didn't it?
Yes, the natural step, yeah. But I didn't, like I said, I didn't want it to be, because I'm 55. Really, everyone I know, shock, horror. Really, Abs, you look about 26. Fuck off. But 55 years of life. I'm 56 next year. And I just thought, I didn't want it to be like a stuffy, because, I'm not like in my 70s, 80s when you expect an autobiography. So I thought I'm going to do something very of the moment. So there's lots of politics. There's lots of quotes, famous quotes on their own separate pages. There's stuff about sex addiction, drugs, music business, comedy, my arrest, my darling Terry's death, funeral. It's very personal, but it's very, you can dip in and out, Charles. You don't have to. You don't have to literally read it from cover to cover in order, because all the tracks stand up on their own as their own little pieces.
Are you planning on making an audio book out of it?
Thanks for asking. I think your lovely other half, Wayno. Hello, Wayno. Shout out. Ask the same thing. Yes, that is the plan for next year, to do an audio book, because it just lends itself, with the whole. And there's a Spotify, because a lot of all the music that's been important to me, which you'll recognise a lot of it in here, including my own songs that I wrote.
Yeah, lovely.
Because I've released 2 albums, one in 2002 and the other one in 2008. So you'll see there's lots of music references, but there's a Spotify playlist. It's quite cool, this book, because there's a Spotify playlist that you can go to, a Hot Banana Spotify playlist, and you can literally listen to every single bit of music I reference in the book. And then on SoundCloud, you can find my stuff.
Love
so it's
it.
like there's something for everyone, to be honest with you.
How did you come up with the title, Hot Banana? Why?
Hot Banana.
Yeah.
Good question. Well, Hot Banana is when I was, my dad was a musician, professional musician. And when me and my sister were little, one of the songs we used to sing and harmonise to was "Baby, Let Me Be Your Loving Teddy Bear," the Elvis song. And the backing singer, so that for the backing singing, me and my sister sang, so it was "Baby, let me be hot banana, your loving teddy bear, hot banana." And it used to make us laugh so much, doing the Hot Banana. So I thought, well, and I think I was writing about my dad and music anyway. This is back in January, and I thought, that's it, Hot Banana, that's what I'm going to call it. And you know what's really good, though, is I was going to change it quite late on, actually. I was thinking September time. Oh, maybe I should change it to something else. And Martin, who designed the book, went, don't change it. Hot Banana is absolutely perfect. It's
brilliant,
it's short, sweet, to the point. It's a bit naughty, but it kind of's got 2 words. So I was like, okay. So actually my first instinct was my first thing. Sometimes your first instinct is right.
Yeah. Oh,
you just have to trust it, that it's that it's there for a reason.
Yeah, and Martin knows you very well. He knows your style.
He knows that I sometimes doubt myself, and I, like you know me, when I just sort of go, oh, I'm not sure, is that going to be? And actually, very often, my instincts are pretty fucking good, and I think I've sometimes not listened to them, or not been like trusting in them, or thinking that somebody else maybe has got a better idea of something, and actually when you come back full circle and go, oh no, actually I was right. But, that's the thing that applies to everyone, though, doesn't it? It applies to most people, where they second guess themselves,
second guess, and then you go around in circles, and then you worry,
and you end up in the place that you were in the first place, going, oh yes, this seems right.
I think it works really well to that title. So I just want to, for people who may not know this about you, going back to the music side of things, you trained as an opera singer, didn't you, back in the day? In one of your many hats.
It's like literally just something I'll throw in there. So my stepdad, well, my mom was a Russian speaker and my stepdad was a Russian speaker. So I love the sound of Russian, and there's quite a lot about it in the book. Again, like I said, it's not like a dry autobiography. It's very much within the essay, within the sections of my life. So I talk about learning Russian, and as part of I basically auditioned, sent a tape off when I was at university, Swansea University. I sent a tape off via my stepdad to the Moscow Conservatoire, because I'd trained as a singer from like 14, 15. So I was singing opera like when I was like 14, Dido and Dido and Aeneas and things like that. Quite developed voice. And then I went to the Conservatoire for a year in 1990, So yeah, it was at the Moscow Conservatoire it was weird doing Russian stuff and then Italian stuff. But then when I was singing Italian, I had a Russian accent. So I was literally like,
yeah,
just like
brilliant.
doesn't lend itself to so it was a very strange time, but I mean, amazing time.
A few people know that you did a whole comedy set in Russian, didn't you? So do you think that if you're going to do an audio version of Hot Banana, that you could do one in Russian? I think you should. As a Russian asset, I think that's the first thing you
exactly. It's a Russian asset because, as we all know, I definitely work for Putin. I mean, people have already said that about me anyway, so I might as well lean in, Charlotte, to the spy accusation. Yeah, I mean, it's an idea. Somebody said to me, because I said on the podcast last night, I said, talking about doing things in different languages. They said, because I compared myself to Carrie, in Sex and the City, because she's a writer. And you know when she goes, and I did a book reading, blah blah, and now my columns are going to be translated into French, and so and then someone said on the pod, on the Substack, on my Abi Daily, said, oh, you could translate it into French, and then you could go to Paris and do it. I was like, bloody hell, slow down. But you never know, do you? Somebody might try. I mean, there's a lot of swear words in it, so it'll be kind of con, quel con, and things like that in French.
What does that mean?
Cunt. Well, con is
it was only 7 minutes.
7 minutes in, and she's already dropping the C-bomb. Yeah, quel con is like I suppose like a stupid person, but I mean, it lends itself, doesn't it, to the. Yeah, so I bet there'll definitely be bits in Russian when I do it in the English audio. So there's in the book there's little bits of Russian which obviously I translate underneath it and stuff. So it's very, very readable. You're not going to be reading it going, oh my goodness, what's this very, 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 very difficult to read thing that only intellectuals will possibly understand. It's not that kind of book.
Love it.
Definitely not.
Well, how did you get it? So just going back to your upbringing, what kind of upbringing would you say you had? So I know you had a very musical father.
Yes.
You're just saying that your mother spoke Russian and all that. What was the household like growing up?
Very full of around the kitchen table, debate. Like what was happening in politics. Remember constantly, because my mum and dad had both been journalists, so they'd met on the South Wales Echo, and then when we lived in London, when we were growing, when we were little, still though I remember always discussion, always debate, very much free speech. There was no kind of, oh, you can't say that. So I'm this era, I think I'm kind of made for it, really, because I am a free speech absolutist, as our friend Gareth Icke is, and I know, and you work for Iconic, and I really think now is the, we're seeing lots of people like Connor Tomlinson, who's our friend, Lotus Eaters. He's been abandoned by the Free Speech Union because he's not the approved conservative, small c conservative. So I hate that. I hate that there's this weird thing where, well, we're for free speech, but as long as you don't say that, oh no, you can't. No, we can't possibly go into that area. Well, in which case you're not a free speech person then.
Well, Free Speech Union, in my opinion, needs to be reported to trading standards because it's not it doesn't do what it says on the tin. And if you've got this view, if you've got concerns about what's happening in Gaza, for example, they will not represent you.
Yes.
I think even Lawrence Fox was privy to being at the end of their opinions on things. I don't know did you see that the other day? I don't know what
really interesting how Lawrence Fox, Dan Wootton, I mean, without going into any of the other stuff, about Dan Wootton and sort of mainstream, people that I knew, I worked with at GB News, they've all suffered from the things that I was warning them about, like when it happened in 2022. Things like, they're not as they appear. Toby Young's not as he appears. He's not a free speech, person who should defend anyone's free speech. It should not be, well, unless with a caveat, unless it's about Gaza, unless it's about Israel. unless it's about this, oh, you can't criticize this person. That's why I love Tucker Carlson. I'm like, oh my God, we need more people like I know people will laugh and go, really, Tucker Carlson? Yeah, my crush. Oh, I love him. He's a bit of a, I don't know, there's something quite sexy about it.
I used to have a crush on Jeremy Kyle, so don't worry about that.
Did you? But I used to have a crush on Alistair Campbell. But this was, by the way, this was
right, you're off.
I know. Bye. Yes, I mean, disregarding obviously the him being an Iraq War criminal instigator,
and a big Burnley fan as well, which is really annoying.
And a big Burnley fan. Oh my God! And I think didn't he say? I think Alistair Campbell once said that he knew that Princess Diana fancied him as well.
Oh, that's a thing.
I know. It's like, and I thought, oh dear, probably.
I tell you what, I did get one day. His son. I can't remember his actual first name. He used to send me messages on Twitter saying he's a big fan of everything that I say. And I thought, well, that's the opposite of what your dad thinks then, clearly.
Exactly, the direct opposite. But, it's very, I find social media a very interesting time at the moment for free speech. I think we're going through a real revolution. I think America, particularly, where you get figures like Nick Fuentes, who I find quite exciting. I know there were people watching going, oh, blimey, have you just said Nick Fuentes? It's like, just fuck off. I mean, if we either want to uphold free speech or we don't.
Yeah. Yes.
You can't have it both ways, and there are going to be things that people, do you know what? Sunlight is the best disinfectant. There are going to be people, and also there's this weird thing on the right, the Conservatives, where they're mirroring what the left's doing. So you remember with the left, it was like, oh, you can't say that, or, that's not woke enough, or you can't say that about race or gender or
political
whatever.
Correctness.
Exactly, political correctness. The same thing is happening in the conservative movement in America, where they're everyone, free speech, but you must not go too far about Israel. You can't criticize them. You can't talk about AIPAC. You can't talk about funding. You can't talk about genocide. You can't talk about lies.
Well,
that's mad.
One of the main things that's happened over there, especially if we're going to link it to social media, is Larry Ellison, off of Oracle fame, who's basically the king of the world in him and Larry Fink, maybe, has recently. Yeah,
ridiculous names.
Oh, not Larry. Yeah, he recently bought TikTok.
Oh,
and his sons have also, I think, bought Paramount and CBS. And noticeably straight away with the TikTok thing, this is from working at Iconic. For example, type in David Icke's name into the search function on TikTok, nothing comes up now.
Right.
And that was almost instantly after the takeover. And this Larry Ellison, I've not done a proper deep dive. I couldn't, tell you everything about him, but he, is very pro genocide in Israel, and it's we can see what's happening. In the same week, it was announced that the Israeli government were paying all these influencers on the right in America. Yeah, people like Lulu with $7,000 per tweet.
Yes,
and it's there. And we've had all these ones in the UK go over in the recent weeks for this pilgrimage.
What the hell?
Did you see your mate Leo Kearse? Did you see
bloody Leo Kearse, who was absolutely terrible. He honestly, he was wrong. He pushed the vaccines. He said that Nicola Sturgeon, people that are watching don't know, she was leader of Scotland, Scottish leader, during the shit show, during the 2020, 2021, 22 as well. And Leo Kearse did a video saying she wasn't doing the vaccine rollout fast enough.
Yeah, I think it's on his YouTube if you look.
And then he was on GB News basically kissing Zelensky's arse and talking about Russia. And then he was like, and I thought, so it's really interesting to me. If you're a comedian, it's a bit like what Bill Hicks said. Bill Hicks said, as soon as you start doing advertising for any big corporation like Orange Juice or whatever, I think he said advertising Orange Juice, he said, you're off the roll call. You're off the roster. You're off the comedian roster because you can't be doing two things at once. You can't be both, working for the corporations, doing the narrative, doing the repeating all that shit, and still be independently a comedian, because the whole point is you're meant to be pointing out these things and taking the piss, and looking. You're not meant to be
kissing.
Yeah, and constant kissing, exactly. Kiss arse. He's the same. Him and Leo Kurz, and like Tucker Carlson said, there's a great video I recommend him talking to Megyn Kelly, who's Megyn Kelly's a bit safer, I think, but I mean both from Fox. Yes. But I do watch America.
She's a gatekeeper, is Megyn Kelly.
She's a bit of a gatekeeper, yeah. But she had Tucker on and Tucker, bless her, I love the way he kind of goes when she said, "Well, why didn't you push back when you were talking to Nick Fuentes?" And Tucker just goes, "Well, do your own interview."
Yeah, I will watch that.
Do your own. I do stuff in my way. I wanted to hear him out. I wanted to, we've had beef. We've had stuff, he said in the past, whatever. And he said, I just wanted to hear him out. And, and also I think sometimes people, this is the other weird thing, same with the woke left, they didn't have a sense of humor about satire and about saying things tongue in cheek. Yeah. Exactly the same thing with the conservatives on the right. Sometimes people say things, "Ooh, guess what?" to cause a reaction. It's not because they actually 100% believe it, or sometimes it's to be provocative. Like say, I don't know, I admire Stalin, and then they go, "Yeah, but not for all the murders, not for all the mass murder." You know what I mean? But the fact that they have to put in brackets, no, not for this stuff, because he was, I don't know. He was a charismatic leader, or because he had a vision, or because he was strong in the Second World War, blah, 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 didn't fought against Hitler, all that kind of stuff. It's like people take things literally on the woke left, and they take things literally on the, I think, woke right as well, the conservative right. It's really weird.
The Tucker Carlson, when he went over to Russia to meet Putin. And he's like, and everyone's on both sides criticizing him. He said, "Well, I just want to hear his version of events. Nobody's getting his side of the story here. I'm a journalist. This is what journalists should be doing. Why are you not all doing this?" Yes,
exactly. And it is funny when Putin does the history of, I mean, don't get me wrong, Putin has killed people. I mean, he's in Russia, he prizes loyalty above everything else. If you're not loyal to your country, and actually, we could probably do with a bit of that as well. Being loyal to your nation and where you come from and your background and things. I don't know why that's a weird concept.
They're trying to erode sovereignty, aren't they? Though?
Exactly, so erode sovereignty, and we should put our country first and not be pissing around with being dragged into wars. And this is what Tucker Carlson says. And again, I don't know why this is a strange idea. That why would we be worrying about stuff in the Middle East and being sort of dragged into these constant? I mean, the Iraq War was just an absolute. I'm actually really glad. In fact, somebody said to me the other day, a relative of mine said, he said, I want to apologize about he said, I contradicted you about the Iraq War, but you were right about it, which I thought was really decent, really, like a decent thing to do, to sort of say, sorry, I was totally wrong about Iraq. But why the fuck aren't we looking around at Great Britain, so-called Great Britain, the deliberate impoverishment, particularly since 2020, the young people being confused, not being able to, what are we going to do for work? Yeah. The rape gangs, why aren't we, the wanting to strengthen Christianity and morals and all? Why aren't we worried about that shit? Why are we constantly saying, "Oh, but what about Israel and Palestine?" It's like, fucking hell.
Yeah, I know. Well,
it's mad.
There's so many different angles, isn't there? I mean, first of all, I saw a few people with a similar tweet this week saying something happened to us all in 2019, 2020, where people lost the will to live, almost, in a lot of ways, their ability to think. Something happened, something changed, there was a big shift. And I guess in terms of the Middle East, the migration stuff, which is all being done on purpose. I saw another thing where there was a Syrian refugee or asylum seeker, whatever you want to call them, who committed whatever crime down south somewhere. And somebody rightly said, in my opinion, we've destroyed their country. Like, I mean, I know they're not all refugees. I know they're not all, fleeing war and things like that. But if they're coming from places like Syria, Afghanistan, blah, 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 blah. I remember being in a taxi. I was going to your birthday, actually, a couple of years ago in an Uber. And the guy who was driving the Uber in London was a young Afghanistan. He was anyway from Afghanistan.
Yes,
and I think he'd been living over here for a few months, and a few years previously he'd been here as well. And he was talking to us like we were stupid, and talking to us with disdain as well. And you could tell he just hated us. And in a way, do you blame them? Why?
No, well, that's a really, really good point. And what's really interesting is that would have been a point that would have made both of us appear like we were on the left of politics, which I think is really interesting. Because if you think about it, look at what happened with Afghanistan. Biden just abandoning, they'd been in there for 20 years. Russia had been in, fucking around in Russia. Then the Americans stayed and the British stayed. And then Biden just went, oh yeah, we're leaving now. But by then, to leaving complete devastation, leaving the Taliban to basically sort of carry on doing what they were doing. It's like, holy shit.
Left all the equipment as well.
Left all the equipment, exactly, all the equipment. That's after 20 years, in Iraq, 1 million Iraqis murdered, not to mention the American and British soldiers and other nations. And you just think, hang on a fucking minute. You can't go into a country, and especially Iraq, and lie about the fact that the fucking weapons of mass destruction, even though you want regime change. You can't do that and expect the people who live in that country to just go, well, okay then. And we didn't even make it any better for them. We didn't even make it better.
Yeah, and the lies, they know the lies, and they probably think that most of us believe the lies.
Yes,
that's where this guy was coming from, his point of view. And we were like, no, we do know, we were just saying, we do know what you're saying here. It was a long drive, a bit tense as well.
Yes, I bet. Yeah,
he's just one person.
Yeah, exactly. He's just one person. And, imagine if it was us, if the shoe, the boot was on the other foot and it was us. And then we were, a similar thing had happened with Great Britain. And then, let's just go in. Let's just totally fucking decimate the British Isles, and then leave. So the people that did it leave, and then go and then not expect us to say, hang on a fucking minute. So what was all that about? And all this stuff about, and then the Arab Spring, as if that was that's what really, I was almost like, what are you talking about? The Arab Spring was basically just allowing extreme forms of Islam, so the radical Islam that Saddam Hussein was a bollard against because he was a secular leader. It just allowed all that to proliferate. All the stuff that people have been saying for years, since the 70s, it's going to happen. We're going to go, oh yeah, we're just changing everything to make it more westernized and more civilized. And it's absolute bullshit. As Dave Smith says.
I love Dave Smith.
Me too. I think I find him quite attractive as well.
You need to get some.
I need to get some nookie. But I do find these bros, these kind of like outspoken. I think it's very attractive in men and women to just go, this is what I believe. I'm going to take the piss. I'm going to say stuff that's hard hitting. If you don't like it, fucking switch me off. You don't have to watch it.
I might watch that Douglas Murray and Dave Smith.
Have you watched it? Have you already watched it?
I watched it again. Just
watch it again.
Excellent, wasn't it?
Oh, so good. You haven't been there.
So you can't comment because you
can't comment. If you haven't been to Gaza.
You haven't even been.
You haven't been to the West Bank. It's like, and Douglas Murray, do you know what? And this is to the day I fucking, keel over and my what do you call it? My toes curl up. I will never understand why conservative commentators, so-called conservative, small C commentators, like Douglas Murray and others, Toby Young, never fully address the 2020 shit show onwards. They never look at it, especially and the vaccines. I'm like, oh my God.
Nice segue, by the way.
Thank you. Global phenomenon.
Well, I think whether they all knew to keep stum or have a certain stance, they almost hibernated, ready for the October the 7th aftermath, and that's when they came in to play and really they were then on the world stage going around spreading propaganda. The propaganda was already spread during the COVID era by lots of other people, and then walks Douglas Murray, all the rest of them. In fact, did you see, on this propaganda tour of Israel over the last few weeks with all your favourites, he was there last week with Deborah Messing, Grace off Will and Grace.
And when I put Shill and Grace.
Oh yeah,
that was quite a good gag, wasn't it? Yeah. Even though I say so myself. Shill and Grace. Yes, and all that sort of, and the other thing as well is Douglas Murray, you know, like not even looking at Hollywood and the fact that Deborah Messing is a product of Hollywood and what's going on in Hollywood and all the, you know, the paedophile stuff and the kind of the dreadful, disgusting stuff of Hollywood. It's like, why do these people not sort of like, and I don't think it's just money though, Charlotte. I don't think it's just money.
I don't want to go down that route and be labelled the AS term anti-Semite.
Oh yes,
But it's all linked, isn't it? I mean, if you to do a list, do a deep dive, all exist.
Yeah. Even though Arabs are Semites.
Oh yeah.
So actually, it doesn't make any sense. It's a bit like it reminds me a bit of like the what do you call it? You know, the words like net zero. Net zero to me. Anti-Semitic and net zero are from the same family. Sorry, guys, but that's the truth.
Anti-vaxxer and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Anti-vaxxer, anti-Semite. Because if you think about it, what you're doing is you're using a term to stop people criticizing. Anti-vaxxer, anti-Semitic, net zero. None of them they don't make any sense because Arabs are Semites. So if you're using that term, then you have to apply it to everyone from the Aramaic region.
Well, this is the thing.
You know what I mean? It's just mad. It's really lazy. It's lazy thinking, I think.
I had a bit of a to-do a few months ago with a certain Mr. Fox on Twitter.
Oh, right, okay.
Who was one of the main people alongside lots of the, you know, GB News, You Talk TV.
Yeah, he's very,
who say the people who are protesting in London and all the other cities, these are hate marches. And I said, hang on a minute, hate marchers. I think, you know, comparing what kind of somebody, I think it was Netanyahu, said they were almost comparison to Holocaust deniers and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, all these names you're saying now, hate marchers, this, that, the other, are exactly the same things that happened to us when we went on the protests against COVID.
Exactly. Yes.
It's lockdown denier, you know, etc., etc.
Exactly.
You're deploying the same tactics that you were privy to.
Yes, precisely.
Explain that one.
Yeah, exactly. So mirroring, reflecting, as Tucker Carlson says, the woke left, the woke right, on the right, the people that are using these names are just a mirror image of the censorious woke left. Now, what's really interesting is Calvin Robinson, who I've got a lot of time for, actually. You know, we message each other now and again. He is very bravely, I think, has talked about the about Israel and about the influence that Israel has on America and the rest of the world. And I find that I think that's really admirable because he didn't have to. He could have just gone, oh, no, not say anything at all. You know?
Yeah.
But he knows it's important. He knows it's important in the great scheme of things.
Yeah, good. It's one of the few, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Shall we maybe go into the COVID years? We've lots of different elements.
The COVID years.
So
trying to think what I call it in the book. Oh, I've just called it the shit show.
Let's have a look.
The shit show. Can you see?
Yes, at the bottom, second to last.
The shit show. By the way, I haven't blanked out. I haven't starred any of the swearing. So you know, you are just going to get fucking joke. It's a word, guys. Sorry.
So it's over 18.
Exactly. But you know when people go, oh, I've just got to put lots of stars in, even though people know what the word is. And I just thought, no, that takes away the impact of
the
it.
essence. Yeah.
Yes, the essence. Yeah.
All right. Well, so you've been a performer and all the other things that you've mentioned. Would you say you're maybe not best known, but could you have envisaged that you were now a professional protester?
That's a really good question. Was it ever in my... I mean, I think I've pretty much always been someone who is looking... And again, when I was writing the book, I was looking at trying to be really honest and sort of about my... when I was a child, you know, or was it even a teenager, you know, thinking, was I rebellious? And what was my worldview? What was my view about what I call cookie cutters, you know, obeying the rules? And actually, as it turns out, I think naturally I am quite rebellious. I do push back against being told what to do. It's quite interesting, but not maybe not always in the kind of obvious ways. I don't like being part of groupthink of any kind. Even in the last 5 years, as you know, Charles, I've said, oh, I'm not sure if I want to be part of that group anymore, because groupthink applies to any situation, not just people that you oppose. You can find yourself in a groupthink on the side that you're on, and then so we always just have to check ourselves before we wreck ourselves and be honest and sort of go, do I really think that, or am I just saying it to kind of... And that's really difficult, you know, because bear in mind, I'm 55. You're way younger than I am, so I've kind of got the advantage of saying, look, I've said all this stuff, or I've been wrong about this stuff. And almost you kind of, as you get older, you give less and less shits about what people think, because you sort of think, well, I'm getting, you know, I'm over halfway through my life, so what have I got to lose if I'm authentic and I'm saying what? But would I be? I think it was always kind of on the cards that there was going to be that I was going to that I wasn't going to I wasn't just going to stand by and let the government walk over us. Oh, have you switched off your mic?
Hello. I don't know how that for the best, everybody.
All I could see was I was like, shit. Yeah, carry on.
No, I was just thinking, so back to 2021. So yes. you'd had a difficult few years.
With Terry dying in 2018. Yeah.
And then this gets imposed on everybody, the whole nation. I remember being maybe a bit hysterical at times, thinking, they're going to take me away. They're going to take me away. Yeah. And I'm going to be lumbered into a big open prison or whatever because I'm refusing this. But people were swapping phone numbers and addresses with people online just in case something happened to us. Yeah. All that kind of... How did you picture January 2021 maybe? How were you feeling?
January 2021. I think I just... I think it was that year. I think I just had Christmas with... It was either that year that I just had Christmas with two people who were very branch Covidian. And I just remember, do you know what? A lot of it, because my mom also died, as you know, beginning of 2020. So she'd had a long-term lung condition, and Terry died of lung cancer. So it was a bit like, and now we've got something that's that's affecting people's, apparently, allegedly, their lungs. So there was a real, and when you're grieving, you're sort of, to be honest with you, I think I was just swimming to try and keep my head above water, because everywhere around me, so I had my two lovely friends who found the place I'm living in, my two gay friends, and they were both very much totally with the agenda. They wouldn't hear. So I felt quite alone at that point, thinking, hang on a minute, these two people have been really helpful to me, finding me a place to live, and they knew Terry, but they don't agree. They see things totally differently to the way I see things about something which is fundamental. That's really hard, because if you think about it, you're not just arguing over, it's not just politics, where you're going, well, you're a bit of a lefty, you know, you might be a Tory, you know, those old things. This was fundamental. This was absolutely critical to something really, really evil was happening. So I just, I just remember, I think just holding on tight in January and going, oh my God. And I remember thinking, you know, when they were now talking about the vaccines, I remember, you know, when the age group started to come down, because it was when it got to 50, it reminded me of the Pointless, you know, that Pointless TV show where it goes down to it was 50. I was like, fucking hell, are they gonna? And I remember putting something up against my front door to stop them because I thought they were going to come round.
People forget
exactly. It's like, it was fucking horrendous. It was like, are they going to come round and check on me? You know,
it's laughable, isn't it? But
it is,
in my mind, they was setting the scene or practicing different kinds of restrictions in order for what's to come.
Yes,
I hate to say that. People might think I'm being.
No, I think you're, Sean. I think you're bang on with the digital ID happening at the moment, and you were at the front of that march that I was on as well, with David Icke and Fiona Rose Diamond, who organised it. I think the stuff that we were saying fairly early on, some earlier than others, you know, so 2020. Well, but sort of in this, because I look back at stuff I wrote in 2020 in like articles and going, oh yes, there's a lot of stuff about dystopia, Soviet Papers, Please stuff. You know what I mean? Like getting an inkling that, okay, hang on a minute, we're entering into a new era that we thought the Cold War, we thought other countries had to deal with, and it wouldn't be us, like the Soviet Union, China, whatever. And then suddenly, you know, like the dawning realization, oh my God, oh fuck, this ideology, now it's, we're living in it. And I think that's really hard for us, because I never thought that we were going to be walking around going, fuck, we don't want to have a Papers, Please situation. I thought that was just East Germany.
Yeah. Can you remember what the first demonstration? And I'm not. There's a lot of people who are naysayers and saying you just you know, walking into the hands of the system by going on these demonstrations. You know, but there is a certain euphoria and nice, you know, feeling to be around people who think exactly the same as you. Camaraderie, all that. Can you remember the first demonstration that you went on?
I think it was 2021, so early 2021. God, it may have been the one with I think James Delingpole, and that's when I first met him and Dick Delingpole, and Lawrence Fox, I think, was on it. And because, you know, around that time, and I mentioned it in the book, I was kind of involved with the Reclaim Party as well. Because bear in mind, I was still I was thinking to myself, hang on a minute, we've got to get out of this mess that Boris Johnson, you know, I was thinking in terms a bit of left and right at that point. So that was, that march. And I remember sitting in the pub, sort of in the pub with, and actually Toby Young, I think, was there as well. Oh my God, who's now Lord Acton, Lord of Acton?
Yeah.
Lord Toby of Actonshire?
Mr. It's all incompetence.
Oh, exactly. It's all incompetence. Yes, they couldn't possibly have been doing it deliberately. So that was my first. I'm trying to think who else is on it. Well, obviously loads of people, but it was very, very much that kind of, oh my God, this is tyranny. They're kind of, this is again mirroring stuff that has happened in the past.
Yeah.
That we're, but and then after that, it was like literally, I think virtually every Saturday or every, do you know what I mean? So then I got more involved in stuff, and I think I was still working my way through. You know, a lot of people, I think, sometimes not edit out. They, like with everyone, you know, you recreate memories of sort of like what you were thinking.
Yeah.
I think that for a lot of people, I'm speaking for myself. We were still trying to navigate. Hang on a minute. Does democracy even? Have we been lied to about all democracy, all voting systems? Are we really the good guys? Hang on a fucking minute. What's going? So everything at the same time was turning on its head, and that, I think, drove some people stark staring mad.
Yes,
The
I
idea
agree.
that, oh my God, hang on a minute, we've been voting, but I thought, but wasn't Mrs. Thatcher, wasn't she like one of the good ones? And you know what I mean? You start to kind of
Well, do you know what?
reevaluate.
Since I've been working, as a producer, I've spoken to so many people who had done as guests on different shows and things like that. And I'm just astounded, even this week, with the amount of corruption that's in seems to be every single industry, every single public service, every single every walk of life that we deal with. There's somebody who's got a story to tell about how things have been covered up that are really deadly serious and actually very worrying and scary for the everyday people.
Yes.
And it's just I'm gobsmacked just about how evil things are.
Yeah, exactly. How evil things are and how deep it goes. I think there's a real, this whole idea of going back to Christian. In fact, Tucker Carlson. Sorry, back to my crush again. My lovely Tucker with his chinos and sometimes he doesn't wear socks.
He used to wear a dicky bow when he used to work on CNN.
Oh, he did wear a dicky bow. Now he's got like a stripy preppy tie. And I know there'll be people watching going, "Oh, he's just a CIA, he's just FBI, whatever CIA plant." I'm like,
but it's your CIA FBI.
But he's you, exactly. He's my CIA. So fuck you. Exactly. It's like, well, he's spitting fucking truth bombs. So it's like, well, I don't really give a fuck. And his dad it was a bit obvious because his dad was CIA. So that would be a little bit obvious. Tucker Carlson. Anyway, just my view. But he's, he a lot of what he says really, really chimes. And he said that the Christian, I thought this is one of the things that really made me go, wow, that the whole idea of what our values are based on, Christian values, is not demonizing a group of people based on their DNA, their bloodline. So for us, Christianity is about punishing the individual. So the individual faces God. So, if you commit a crime, you don't then go and kill the rest of the person's family because they've committed the crime. So therefore their wife's guilty, their husband, their children, their whatever. That is that's a medieval, that's not what Christianity, teaches us, about morality. So I think from that point of view, we are entering a time when we're going to see a lot of readjustment and a lot of the liberal stuff that, I went along with. God, a lot of it's in my book, went along with, behavior, sort of sleeping with sort of random people and, not really having so I'm not saying like, right, we're all going to go back into the Handmaid's Tale, it's all really sort of, but some form of right and wrong, some form of like moral structure.
Yeah, well, that's
we should go back to.
Well, whilst you're on the subject of Christianity, I know it's important to you, and we've had this conversation before. But if we're going to stick to the theme of what's happening and the dystopia, some people who aren't religious are of the opinion that we're in the time. Well, if we're in the time of Revelations, some would say that it's been forced to be played out right now. And if that's the case, do you consider digital ID as the mark of the beast?
Oh, crikey. Well, yes, in many ways. I consider anything that's to do with branding human beings the mark of the beast. So
not being able to buy or sell.
Exactly, to buy or sell, exactly. So make us like chattels, to make us like, even animals don't treat each other the way we human beings treat each other. So, so even though it might be at the moment, like on a phone, on an app, on a whatever thing, on a government website, the end was, put it this way, if they were injecting the government with the needles, the injections were actually invading people's flesh. That's imagine your body's a country, and so it was an illegal war, the jab into human flesh without people's consent, informed consent or any consent in the terrible cases of people with Down syndrome. So this idea that digital ID is somehow removed from us and it can just be like on a computer or whatever. Well, we never thought they were going to fucking inject people with gene therapy. So what's stopping them? What would stop them from going, let's brand your forehead. let's put something like, you know, an implantable, I think they call it, don't they? They call it like, so you have the injectables, portables, injectables, implantables are the three things.
Interoperable as well.
Hey?
Interoperable as well is what they're going to be.
Oh my God, what's that?
That means that what's happening in the background with the infrastructure of digital ID is interoperable. So there's different, so it can be linked to all your different things, your bank accounts, your health, all that kind of thing. That's how it will eventually work. So that's
your political ideas.
Yeah.
Somebody said something
your driving license
about Israel having too much influence. Right. Get her into him, into the gulag, you know. So people, you know, need to be aware that this whole people that aren't respecting free speech properly need to be scrutinized. I think.
Do you know it's funny? I'm working on a documentary with a guy called Guy Anderson.
Oh yeah,
and it's about the last reset. So just to give it a little plug and to give Guy a plug. Hi, if you're watching.
Hi, Guy.
It's really interesting. He's written some brilliant books, this guy, about lost worlds. So, you know, you've heard of Tartaria.
Yes.
Tartaria. So if it was all to be deadly true, so the last reset happened in 1776, which is the independence year, wasn't it? Back in the day.
Yes.
And there's theories that when they started building things like asylums, mental asylums, orphanages, you know, things like that, they all came around the same time. The mental asylums were actually for dissidents around that time who didn't agree with what was going on way back then. And
I think that's very true. A lot of Bedlam, they were called Bedlam. Were
there was the Lunacy Act came in as well.
Yes, I absolutely think that there are that people will be. I mean, look, okay, we don't even need to go very far back. Look at people like Tucker Carlson. Look at various other people that who have stood by free speech. They're being called mad, deranged. You know, Tucker talking about his demon, his experience, have it with a demon, in the middle of the night and getting up and his wife going, "Oh my God, what's that on your skin?" And like literally like marks, like bloody marks on his. Like, so he had a proper experience. Whether you think he's believe it or not,
I do. Yeah.
So they'll be used for if you call someone mad, crazy, then you totally reduce their power to be. What's the word? You sort of diminish their power and the rest of what they're saying. If you say they're crazy, they're mad, they're whatever. So, and even people, I've disagreed with people in the past, like Miri. I might have said, and I jokingly might go, well, that's fucking crazy, or that's this, that, and the other. But I absolutely defend anyone's right to write what you want, say what you want, have any ideas that you want, just as long as the rest of us, everyone else, is free to go, that's a bit, that whatever, because that's free speech. It's like give and take,
Yeah, well, I think for me, nobody, in my opinion, in the whole entire world, especially me, knows that anything is fully true.
Yes.
So to slate others for because they don't go along that way of thinking, it's just bananas, hot bananas.
It's hot banana. It is hot banana. Yes, it's true.
So talking of dissidents, Abby, talking of dissidents, we couldn't. I think this might have to be a two-parter,
But anyway,
talking of dissidents, we couldn't go without showing a couple of videos of a certain dissident. So give us 1 second. You can just reflect on that. So it's actually 3 videos. So we'll start with this one.
Okay.
So at the moment, all of these hearings, all of these questioning sessions are about the preparedness of the pandemic. It's likely there will be some.
What's happening here, Abs?
So this is Tom Harwood, who is I used to work with on GB News, and he's giving talking outside the COVID inquiry whitewash, and that's me I came in first with my, in the background at the COVID inquiry, talking about the vaccines, and then Francis has come in next to me, and we're in the background of this, of basically, yes, protesting outside the COVID inquiry. There's only about 4 of us. Really, it was so weird.
Shall I show what happened next?
And Matt Hancock was inside, and then next, so Tom Harwood, Bev Turner, by the way, is on that thing as well, and she says, "Oh, I don't know what's happening there," like pretending she doesn't know. And then after that, I was arrested.
Right, let me
for swearing, for saying "fuck" too many times. That's actually. Oh, here we go.
But apparently, Matt Hancock is going to walk in freely, who is guilty of genocide against the British people. That's what we're talking about. The lockdowns, closing schools. Life during the July lockdown. It's murder. The government is guilty of murder. So, seriously, you're arresting me? No, you are joking. This is a joke, right?
Yep. As I said, you're under arrest for Section 5 public order. I've given you a warning not to swear in public. You've then started shouting every swear word in front of me, in front of multiple people. It's all on camera. It's all on camera. I gave you a fair warning. You didn't want to listen. You wanted to prove a point. So the point's been proven.
Cannot believe that
you're under arrest for Section 5 public order.
I cannot believe you're doing this.
Is for prompt and effective investigation.
Can I call my lawyer?
You can speak to solicitor when
I will do.
Yep, that's what.
Can I call my lawyer? I haven't got a lawyer, everyone. I've just seen it on an American TV show. Can I call my lawyer? What's really funny is that people, when you watch a TV show and you go, it's nothing like that. You know what I mean? You don't just go, "Hi, you're my attorney. My attorney is going to visit me." It's like, no, you get a bloody duty solicitor. So that, to fill everyone in, is outside the COVID inquiry. Matt Hancock was inside. Matt Hancock, who said everyone has to be vaccinated with something he knew was dangerous, a gene therapy into the arms of men, women, children, and pregnant women, etc., and people with Down syndrome who didn't have a choice. So I yeah, as you can see, I mean, I was so angry at that, and then the press all clicking away, and they were just doing the bidding of the regime. So all guilty. Matt Hancock obviously as well did the midazolam. Ramped up the use of midazolam in nursing homes and hospitals. Oh yeah, there's a Kerry Murray. Our lovely friend Kerry. Mm-hmm. Kerry Murray. He took that photo of me near where I live. We found some railings. It's so funny. We were pissing ourselves, apart from with Keith as well. Rather back of, because I think, a really great Kerry's a really great photographer, It's like he's properly talented.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely. He's doing some good work. To the naysayers, I some trolls online saying fake arrest didn't even happen. I came to meet you, didn't I, after it after he was released?
Yes, and so Francis came to the police station, waited for about 5 hours, I think. And then you came round, was it like later that day? Or I was released at 3, and then I think that same day, you and Francis came round. And honestly, I can genuinely tell you that when I'm standing in front of the police going, no, you're joking, this isn't really happening. I was thinking to myself, this is the United Kingdom. There's a man in there. We've just gone through, and we're still going through, crimes against humanity, crimes against, people that we know, we love, we care about, across the world, and I'm being arrested for swearing. It was almost like, what? It was so fucking bizarre. And in some ways, though, I'm quite glad it happened, because I was able to go, oh, okay, so this is where we are, is it?
Yeah.
You're letting that people inside off the hook, but you're not. But you're going to arrest me.
It's paved the way. So it's like that was 3 years ago now.
It was 2023. Yeah, so 2 years ago.
2 years
just
ago,
over 2 years ago. Yeah,
and we've just seen the police just descend into absolute state Well, they're state assets, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. State assets. Yeah. So in a way, and obviously there were people, as I've said quite often, I think more people should say this, you know, but high profile people that we know, that there were people way before me who were being arrested, like the likes of Fiona Rose, Diamond, and Fiona Hines, and others. Debbie
Piers
Hicks,
Corbyn.
and, you know, exactly, Piers Corbyn.
Yeah.
I mean, bloody hell, this stuff was happening. It was like, what? These people are just trying to stop terrible crimes being committed, you know, in 2020 onwards, and you just think, good God. And the police were doing the work of, that's why I said they're the Stasi. They were doing the work of the regime. They're doing so, you know, they're going to have to admit it. Well, they're going to have to face facts one day.
It's like so many things, though. We're now conditioned, or no, it's normalized almost. It's been a gradual decline in expectations of how we view police. It's not just police.
Yes. Yeah, completely right, Joel. We are, everything's been, we live in a low trust society now. I mean, probably the lowest trust I can ever remember. And interestingly, it looks like it's very strange, but I think a lot of it started in the 60s. I really do. I really think, you know, I used to think, hey, summer of love, hey man, let's let it all hang out, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And what's really weird is we are going to see, and I think it's going to happen in America, we're going to go back to the kind of 50s, that sort of time, you know, where there was, I don't know, there's this very strange, it's like we're a train that went totally off the tracks into the fucking countryside, like we're hurtling down a hill, you know, into these, like, through cow
by design,
and exactly, by design, and I think some people did see it. I mean, and we're so there's lots of different things that are coming at us, you know, whether it's the Islam question, which I do think is a concern. You know, I'm not somebody who's totally naive to the fact that there's, you know, they have a different agenda to Christianity, and then the whole kind of Middle East kind of mess.
And also, I can't remember who it was who said this week, how if there is this civil war narrative that's getting pushed by certain factions, and it could happen, the Muslim community, God bless them, are actually would be properly organised. If anything came down to it, you had all these white patriots with their Israel flags walking down the street, you know, England till I die, and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
They, you know, they've got mosques, they've got close-knit communities. They could easily just turn on them, and if it came down to it.
Yes, and this is the really weird part. So, like you said, it's very complicated. It's complex. It's not all about just one issue. It's about the fact that there's been a deliberate, like you said, enforced decline and replacement. And you know, if put it this way, I meet, you know, very, very nice Muslims every day, very actually quite sort of westernized and quite, you know, reasonable. And I was talking to someone the other day, you know, about his children and what they learn in school and blah, blah. And very reasonable. But if push comes to shove and they have to take a side, whose side do you think they're going to take? That is ultimately, so you know? And this is the issue, is that I think we did just piss our culture away, or it was Blair, obviously onwards, maybe even before that, was sort of, that was the agenda. Yeah. But unfortunately, it was done in such a way that that voices who were pointing it out, I include Peter Hitchens actually in that, because he's said a lot of really good stuff, were sort of, again, called crazy, demonized, shut up, you old, you know, you're paranoid.
You crank.
Exactly, you paranoid old crank. Piers Corbyn is the same. Been saying lots of stuff for many years, and people just go, yeah, or whatever, you know, because unfortunately,
nutty professor kind of thing. Yeah,
exactly, nutty professor. That's the way it's done. But I think people need to listen to more voices that they may not have done previously.
I've said this before, and I've probably said this to you, but what you just said is a great example of a conversation I had a few years ago with a work colleague who was London based,
Yeah.
on the side of woke, should we say. And it was probably 2021, and I had a conversation with him about what he'd done that weekend. And he said, "Oh, I had a little wander into London, bit of shopping, whatever. And I came across this anti-mask protest. And you know what? They were all normal people." And I went, "Yeah."
They were all normal people.
Because he'd read the buzzwords, and which many people would still think, oh, there are a lot of weirdos who don't know what they're talking about, who just, stupid.
Yeah, exactly, stupid.
Yeah.
And as we know, every march, on all the marches, it's a total cross-section of society. You'll see people who are a bit la-di-da, the pearls and the sort of with a bit of tweed on. Then you'll see like the kind of ravers, the 90s ravers, and you'll see some just like kids, people with their kids walking along, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Or actually like the Iraq War March, you've seen everyone, every, colour and creed, and just sort of going, no, this is wrong. This is just wrong.
It wasn't that we don't want to wear a mask on our faces because we, just don't want a bit of cloth hanging off our face.
Yeah.
It wasn't that we didn't want to take a vaccine because we're scared of needles, as they used to say. It wasn't because we wanted to leave the house and go clubbing that we were against lockdown. It's because we knew it were all a scam and we could see through it. That's why we were on these marches. That's why we've spoken out. And you've been you were a massive voice during 2020-21 to make people feel better with your humour, the humour you used, Cathy Crunt and people like that. In fact, I've got a little clip of her or advertising your new book. Shall I play it?
Oh, okay.
I might have to take something off, so...
Good afternoon, I'm Cathy Crunt, and this is BGBTV News, live from Westminster. The time is past. Papers, please! And I have some breaking news. My great friend Abi Roberts has written a book called Hot Banana. According to Abi, it's a scintillating, laugh-out-loud, sob-inducing, painfully honest blast through highlights of a life well lived. That's quite a mouthful, which is what I said to Stanley Johnson just the other night. You can buy Abi's Hot Banana from Lulu, Kindle and Apple Books. Thanks for watching. I'm Cathy Crunt. Stay stupid.
But you know what? I've only just noticed that ticker at the bottom now.
Do you like it with that weather depressing, world's on fire? Martin and I we're like, oh yeah, we're going to have something along the ticker. So I was sending like little ideas, weather depressing again. Shout out to Martin because he filmed, so he designed the book. If I just drop the book on the floor. So just shout out to Martin. So he designed, Martin Baker designed the book and the interior as well, and the back you can see as well, and shot that, filmed the Cathy Crunt, who will be undoubtedly coming back because so many people said, Cathy! It was really weird. It was almost like, oh, forget the book. What's Cathy Crunt doing back? And it was funny with that banana. Honestly, the amount, because the tourists were watching me doing this, and there were serious news crews doing their thing, and there was me going, hello, because obviously it's ripe, isn't it? It's ripe. The media is doubling down. The BBC, I'm afraid, is not getting less woke. They're getting more. So I think, unfortunately, our work is cut out, Charlotte, for the next few years. Because, they're not going anywhere, I don't think.
So, sadly, I've enjoyed every second of my first episode with you. We need to do a second one because there's still loads that we haven't covered. But I know,
God Almighty, we went on to. But this is free. It's like Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly.
Imagine being Megyn Kelly.
Yeah.
You also, just for people. So
to where to buy it.
Yeah, where to buy it. But also, it's not your first book, is it?
No.
Is your second.
Yes, We the People. Thank you, Charles. So We the People, that's people's letters. People wrote to me about the lockdowns, about the vaccines, about the just the awfulness of the shit show. That's Bob's cartoon on the front. So you can get that from lulu.com, which is exactly the same as where you can get Hot Banana. Really good, print on demand. Obviously, We the People, I didn't make any money. It was all printed at cost. Hot Banana, slightly different because, I mean, fucking hell, I've never worked so hard on something in my life. So Hot Banana's 15 on a paperback and $9.99 on Amazon Kindle and Apple Books.
Lovely.
So not bad. I mean, you've got 200 and fucking hell, it's about 280 pages in Hot Banana.
Do you want to just finally, before we finish, and good luck with the book, obviously, hopefully it'll do smashingly, just tell everyone where they can find you.
Yes, you can find me on Substack. Thank you, Charlotte. Substack, which is abiroberts.substack.com. So Abi under Abi Daily, which is my podcast. You can find me on Twitter, on X, which is Abi R Comedian. I've had a bit of a love-hate relationship with Twitter, as you know, but I'm on it now. You know, I want to push the book. I've got stuff to say, so fuck it. You know,
I remember you once saying it's like heroin. I remember you saying
it's like
you're taking yourself off, haven't you, once?
But it's, I take myself off. Yeah, I'm not like I was before. So Abi R Comedian, Abi R Comedian, blah blah. So Dick Dellingpole said Abir. It sounds like an Arabic. Abir Comedian, Abi R Comedian, and then where else am I on? Oh, I'm on God, where else? Fucking hell, YouTube. I think that's probably it.
Is that it?
Yeah, Linktree. I've got a Linktree, which is quite good actually, because you've got all the links to the where you buy the book. Linktree, I think it's Abi/Roberts on Linktree, but it's quite easy. It's on my. I think it's on my Twitter bio.
Nice one. All right.
All the rest of it, whatever. You'll see me around.
You'll find, just type it in, you'll find something.
Type it in.
And also, you've got a YouTube channel, so if you want to see everybody, the past episodes of Cathy Crunt,
and other stuff. Yeah, exactly. You can go there. Yeah,
in fact, let's just finish with a nice song from back in the day when you were on stage. And then thank you everyone for tuning in. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I'm not a professional. I'm just giving it a go. So thank you, Abi. Good
You're
luck
better
with your
than
book.
Fucking all the professionals I've met.
Mwah, mwah. Love you lot.
Mwah, mwah. Love you.
Need me, it's much too late to find. When you think you've changed your mind, back to the court and bring it back, and we will both be sorry. Here we go. Don't you want me, baby? Don't you want me? Oh, don't you want me, baby? Oh, don't you want me? I sing it, yeah.